Good morning and welcome to Community Conversations. I am Queen Miss Ebony J and you're listening to 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.1 The Wiz and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. If you've never listened to Community Conversations before, this is where we come to talk about what nonprofits are doing in the community and how they're making a difference. And there's been a lot of different questions throughout the year of how we can be better and what can we do to be better and how can we be stronger. Well, I'm excited about my guests today. I got two kings. I know I've been representing for the ladies because it's Women's History Month, but I got two kings in the building today who are going to come bless us with some information and tell us about an amazing event coming up that you're going to enjoy if you're interested in real estate. So on the line with me is the CEO, Mr. Talk to Tony, who is the man behind the real estate. What's up, King?
What's up, Ebony? Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you was able to, take some time out your day and come in and drop us some jewels. And I know you got the money man on the line of Abundance University, Mr. Lawrence Cain. How are you doing, King?
I'm good. I'm just happy to be with y'all too. You feel me?
Yes. Well, look, I'm super excited because I've been hearing a lot of people ask questions. They want to get a home. They want to, do something different this year, but they're afraid and they don't know where to start. They even want to make more money this year, but don't know where to begin or what to do. So I wanted to bring you both on. One, because real estate is your niche. You are the master real estate man. And then I had to bring you on, Mr. Lawrence Cain, because you're the money man. And they got to have their money together to be able to do things. So I feel like this is going to be a great conversation. I saw that you both have an event coming up that's going to benefit the listeners, and I thought it was only right to have you on. The Midwest Real Estate Seminar is happening on April the 2nd, and it's going to be at the Sharonville Convention Center. So let's talk first. Hold on, let me go back. Let's talk first about what made you get started and where your passion came from for real estate.
Yeah, so the passion really came from just wanting to have some type of freedom over my life. You know what I mean? And I started about 7 years ago, and I was working a job and didn't really have high morale. And the people that I had met in real estate, they just always seemed like they had energy and they were in good spirits, probably because they had some money, right? They were making money. And it was something that was just always interesting to me. And I'm one of those people, if a lot of people don't talk about it, right, those are the type of opportunities and businesses that I like to go into because it has to be some type of secret. And so when I heard about real estate, I met my mentor, and he just told me about all the things he's been able to do for himself and his family. Like I immediately fell in love with real estate.
So what was the first home you purchased? Can you remember?
I can. I actually can. I purchased a home. This is when I was living in Indianapolis. And the first home that I actually purchased was the one that I lived in. And I bought that at 23 years old using a VA home loan because I'm prior service military. But the first investment property that I actually purchased, same was in Indianapolis. And I bought that property and turned around, and I think it was less than 60 days. We turned around and we made $45,000 on that property. So you can imagine, coming from a traditional 9-to-5 and seeing a return like that. After 60 days, I was all in. You know what? This is it. This is what I'm doing. So I fell in love with real estate after that, and we've been rehabbing and rehabbing homes in between Indianapolis and Cincinnati ever since for the last 7 years. And so we're over 20 rehabs so far, and I really have a passion for just changing the look of neighborhoods and the community. It's something that we're really passionate about.
Yes, I love it. Now, I've been hearing a lot, this is not a good time, and they fooling when it comes to the real estate. So you tell me, because you're the expert, is this a good time to buy into real estate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I hear a phrase all the time and saying that you don't wait to buy real estate, you buy real estate and wait. That's really the times we're in now. It's still a good time because interest rates are low. and they're going up. This year, I'm sure everyone is seeing the news and seeing how inflation is affecting everyone across the country.
Yeah.
And and their interest rates are going up, and so it's still a good time because the pros, of owning real estate. You having shelter, you having control over where you live, right?
Mm-hmm.
The passive income, and it's just a great time to own. You can still get in and utilize some of these loans and pay as little as 3.5% down, 3% down. And if you're a veteran, you can get in with not paying any money down at all. So still an amazing time. I know it looks scary out there. It looks really competitive, and it is. But I would much rather you own your property than renting and throwing away your money for 5 or 10 years and not getting anything from it. So great time to buy.
Now, is that why a lot of people are getting the FHA loans?
Yes, and because FHA comes with a lower down payment, like I said, at 3.5%, and they are not as they don't require you to have a high credit score like a 640 or a 700 or anything like that. There are some lenders out there who can get you approved with FHA for having a 580.
What?
So
is that the minimum 580?
Yeah, there are lenders out there who can get you approved with the 580. Yep.
And see, it's somebody at home right now who thought they had no hope because they don't have that perfect 700 or that perfect 720.
And that's the thing. That's what normally balks us, right? Just bad information. Not reaching out to your people, your network, and reaching out to the professionals to see what options you have. Definitely, there are a lot of different lenders out there that can do different things for you. And if you're waiting to jump into real estate because you want to get a 720 credit score, you're just wasting time. Come on in and run a mortgage application and get yourself approved so you can get in the game now.
This is 1230 The Buzz, your talk station on 101.1 The Wiz, 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. You're listening to Community Conversations. I'm here talking with Talk to Tony and Lawrence Cain of Master Real Estate Investors. The whole goal is to make sure that you have the knowledge that you need so that way you'll feel comfortable jumping into real estate. They understand that you have so many things that you're nervous about and there's so many things you don't know, but the goal is to make sure that you're prepared. So let's talk a little bit to the money man. Money man Lawrence, if I'm a person who wants to buy a home and that's my goal, what are some things that I can start to do now to prepare myself?
I think one of the biggest
finances.
Sure. So the biggest thing, and I learned this actually from Tony, is you got to start with the end in mind. Right? When he goes into a property, if he's rehabbing it, he has to look at what it's going to look like and not what it looks like now. So the same thing is with your finances. You want to make sure you can actually afford to get into the house. And, how much money do you need to save? How much do you need to pay off, when it comes to your debt, so your debt-to-income ratio is lowered? How do you make money now, and how do you need to make money when you get into that house? Because if you're renting, right, you can literally, just move if something goes wrong. But when you got that house, sometimes it's unexpected expenses when it comes to home ownership.
Yeah.
So you got to count those costs. You got to look at that, and that's what we teach a lot with our home buyers classes that we do in the community and virtually because of COVID. But ultimately, you want to have a plan. You want to plan, you want to prepare, and you want to perform. And that's what we teach through the Money Siege principles. Whether you're trying to again make more money because you want more money, or you're trying to go see Tony so you can get a house to either live in or to flip.
Now, what if I'm just a person who I like spending money? I want to save. I know I need to save, but I don't know how to save properly. What are some things that I can do to start saving now? Or do I just start with the normal like $5? Or what, is there any tips you have there?
Yeah, so the principle that comes to mind is control your spending by controlling your emotions. So we spend money emotionally a lot, and we usually buy those things that really don't matter to us. So if you're trying to get a house, you need to make sure that's in the forefront. Every time you go to the mall, every time you're on Amazon, every time you're on Fashion Nova, Sheen, whatever. Like, those things can wait. But more, specifically, though, you want to make sure that you set a savings goal and, contribute to that goal on a weekly basis. So if you say you want to save $500 a month, then you should be saving $125 every week. That way it doesn't seem such of a massive goal, right, to see 500 get transferred when, you probably up until this point have only been saving $50 to $100 a month.
Right.
You got to slow poke it sometimes and really start gaining momentum and being comfortable not spending that money. Because you can save it, you can put it in a savings account, but if you're going to transfer it just because, Usher going on concert, then you really ain't serious.
Talk to him. I do want to ask you this, though. Is there a realistic number that should be saved up before you move into a home? Because I know they say, there's never a right time to have a kid. There's never right money you can save. Is that the same with buying a home?
Yeah. And if Lawrence, if you don't mind, I can jump in and kind of give you an answer on that as well.
Okay.
It's just a number for you to save is just think about, like I said, the type of loan and what it is you're trying to do. Now, if you're just a homeowner, you want to move into a property that you're going to occupy and you're going to be utilizing an FHA or conventional loan, it'll range from 3.5% of the purchase price all the way up to 5%. Just depending on the amount that you are trying to get qualified for.
Okay. Now, how can people with no money make money in real estate? Is that possible at all?
Absolutely. You ever heard of the term OPM? I love other people's money, right?
Yes. What's OPM?
OPM stands for other people's money.
Oh.
And, yeah. Other people's money, and there are a lot of investors now who get into the game, and they're not having to come with money out of their own pocket, right? And there's a couple of different ways you can do that. Not to get too long-winded, but there is partnerships that you can get into, like you actually doing a joint venture. You may be in a situation where you don't have the money, but you have the credit. So partner with someone who has some actual liquid, some actual capital that can be able to assist you. There are opportunities like wholesaling, where you do the ground and pound work, right? You are pretty much the middleman. You go out and you find properties that investors like myself want to buy, and you just charge a premium. A wholesaler is nothing but an unlicensed real estate agent, essentially, and so they come to the table all the time, and they make money without having to invest a single dollar. So those are just a few ways that you can get into the market and not have to put out any of your own capital in purchasing a home.
Is it cheaper to own a property than it is to buy it?
Yes. I mean, you have to look at it like this, right? Us as landlords and investors, and I own 9 properties, and I have 5 actual properties that we rent out. And a few of those I have loans on. So I'm literally, all landlords, if they have a loan on the property, we are charging a 20% plus premium on top of our mortgage so that we can make a profit. That's just all it is, right? If you are renting from someone, you are renting from someone who is trying to make a profit,
right.
Over his actual loan, his home loan. And so, yes, it is definitely cheaper. I know it comes with its own, pros and cons, but if you want to be in a position where you control your future, you definitely want to own that property.
Well, I think that was some of the pros and cons on the real estate. Do you have any other ones that you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few pros outside of, just shelter, owning your own property. The demand, right? Getting into real estate, if you wanted to become a real estate agent, that is a big wave right now, and I love to see it. I remember when I got into real estate, there were no other agents my age. I did not know a lot of people my age that were getting into real estate, and if you are someone who wants to get into that and become a real estate agent, think about the demand. I mean, everyone needs a place to live. The supply is never going to run out. You know what I'm saying? And so there's always going to be someone looking to buy, sell, or lease a property. So the demand is there, and more importantly, cash flow.
Correct.
Right? There's not too many investments that you can get into leveraging your credit, right? Possibly paying no money down or little to no money down, right, and actually making 20+% return on your money. There's not a lot of investments like that. So I'm a little biased. Like I said, I love real estate, and I've been doing it for a minute, but those are the pros. And the cons are, they can be managed, right? It's all about managing your risk when you own real estate. Some of the cons are, of course, you have to deal with people. If you're renting out property, you got to deal with people. So having the right checks and balances in place to make sure you minimize your risk there. And then also liability is a con, right?
Yeah.
If you own an investment property, you are taking the responsibility for making sure that this house is deemed livable for this family, right?
Yeah.
It is in a good condition, and at least, myself, we take pride in the properties that we do, and so if you have a tenant that's living inside of there and you have not, done the electrical right, house catches on fire or whatever, you're responsible. So there is a con when it comes to liability, but those are all things that you can manage the risk of.
This is just a taste of what you all are going to get, because it's definitely going down on April the 2nd at the Sharon Bureau Convention Center. You do not want to miss the Midwest Real Estate Seminar. They're going to be there sharing all these tips. There's going to be classes. And, of course, I saw the flyer with DJ Envy on there. So talk to us about what we can expect when we come out.
You can expect value overall. There's not a lot of places that you can come to in the Midwest that's going to give you the type of information that you can leave the door and hit the ground running. From myself, from Talk to Tony, from DJ Envy, from my man Solo, people in the building is. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So now that we're all going to be under the same roof, you need to be there so you can at least get the information, connect with other people, and again, like one of my principles in my business book says, you got to build with the builders. You can't expect to just build alone. So come out, man, be a part of that. It's an environment. That environment is going to be everything, man. I'm excited. So. I can't wait to be around other like-minded people. So we want everybody to come out, get your ticket, get in where you fit in. There's different levels. But overall, just get there and bring a friend.
Where are tickets available at?
Tickets are online. You got the link, Tony?
Yeah. So you can get tickets online at djenvycincinnati.eventbrite.com. There are tickets available there, and also we can be reached via email at djenvycincinnati@gmail.com. Also a phone number if you have any questions is 513-341-8692 about the actual event. And like Lauren said, it's going to be an amazing event. This doesn't happen, as we know, in our city all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We bring artists, we bring hip hop artists, music artists all the time, right? But actually hosting an event where everyone in the room are playmakers. There's going to be a lot of guest speakers who are the experts in their field. Lawrence mentioned a few names, but you have guys like Mike Ely, right? These guys are trendsetters. These guys got into business 20 years ago and have scaled millions upon millions of dollars of real estate ownership. And so if you're a person who has been wondering, how do I get in, who has been nervous about, or maybe you just don't have a network that can speak to you a lot about real estate, this is the place you want to be. 100%. We're going to be in the building. We're dropping jewels. If you leave from this seminar and you're not able to go execute a play and make you $100,000 within the year, you weren't taking notes. I'll put that on the line right there.
Yes, I love it. I'm excited. EventBrite. Make sure you go on there. Make sure you get your ticket. How much are tickets?
They start off at $75. And if you use the promo code LawrenceCain20, you can get 20% off your your ticket. So it's only 5 available. So whoever hear this, y'all better get on.
Yes, first come, first served basis. make sure, again, you go get the information. Like he said, they don't do this all the time here in Cincinnati, where we just come in to help uplift you, help make sure you get your dreams in line. All the stuff you said you want to do in 2022, it's going to happen this year only if you do your part. So come out again, April the 2nd at the Sharonville Convention Center. Come out, get all this different information. I want to ask you one last question before we go, because I know we got some people that may not have no credit at all. Like their credit is really, really bad, and they may be like, this isn't for me. Can you tell them about the opportunities to be able to flip properties?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So flipping properties with poor credit, absolutely. And we will dive into this more during the actual real estate conference. But there are particular loans out there that we call them hard money loans, where they use the hard asset to determine if this is a loan that they want to lend money on, right? Where they look at your credit score, but it is not the end-all, be-all. Right, and so those are the type of loans that you can get into. You can get funding for flipping a property. You can get funding for the purchase and the rehab, and not have to have, like I said, a 640, a 700 credit score.
Yes, well, thank you.
And so that type of loan was one of the loans. I've used those loans multiple times over my actual career. So it is definitely something that needs to be, spoken about and used more often if you're in that situation.
And coming to the seminar this weekend, they're not just going to be talking and telling you things. They're going to be sharing the information. So you want to be there so that way you can know, what is the name of the loan? Where do I go get the loan? How do I talk about the loan? All that information is going to be at the seminar. And again, you can log on to EventBrite.com and get your ticket. Kings, I'm so glad y'all were able to come and drop these jewels on the show.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us. We love and appreciate you, Ebony. Keep doing what you're doing. We all are inspired by everything, all the hard work that you do. Trendsetter in the city. We love you and thank you for having us.
Thank you, Kings. Midwest Real Estate Seminar again, April the 2nd. It's going down. Do not miss it. Sharonville Convention Center, doors open at 10 a.m. and it's from 11 to 3. 11 to 3. Be there. You do not want to miss it. Don't be late. Put it in your Palm Pilot. Put it in your phone. Make sure you do not miss it, okay? This is Community Conversations on 1230 The Buzz, your talk station, 101.1 The Wiz, and 100.3 Cincy's R&B station. If you would like to be a guest, all you got to do is slide in my DMs or shoot me an email, MissEbonyJ@radio-1.com. See you next week.